Hi guys, so I want to talk to you today about why I prefer to travel alone. And some people were asking me about this, and also I feel like a lot of people don't understand this concept at all. But I just wanted to share my point of view, and please keep in mind that I might change my opinion or preference about this as I get married or have children, because we all change and evolve as people, and it's totally normal to like change your preferences and opinions. So this is where I am at right now, and this is how I feel right now. I might feel differently in a year or two, but I used to be afraid of traveling alone, and also feeling like a loser because I felt like I don't have people to travel with. And I was kind of low-key waiting for a relationship or a friendship with someone who would always be there for me and like always be up to travel together and so on. But as time went by, I realized that not every person wants to travel, and even when you are in a relationship, you and your partner might have different priorities. And if you travel alone, it doesn't mean that you don't have anyone to travel with. And then I just did it once and I really liked it, and then every other time it just became increasingly easy for me. So I think that at this point of my life right now, I'm still sort of discovering myself, and I still have a lot to learn about myself, and travel just helps me so much with that, because I feel like I am exposed to, first of all, being uncomfortable, and to some of my fears, and also to just being very present and very much with myself. Because when you travel, you go to a place where you have never been before, and you feel uncertain about things. Probably the country doesn't even speak the language that you speak. And of course, there are some stress factors connected to it and related with it. And also, I feel like when you are alone, you cannot like shield yourself using the other person when you go somewhere, because you just are exposed to new experiences and to meeting new people and to talking to strangers, and you are just more aware and alert when you are alone, because you cannot use the other person as protection from the reality that you're in. So I have experience with traveling with others, and I have had very nice experiences and also not so nice experiences. But the thing that for now kind of stops me from taking people with me on my adventures and travels is that you have to really compromise a lot, which is a very good thing in itself. You have to learn how to compromise, and it's very important to do that. But I feel like when I travel, I just want to get away from my life and get new inspiration and new impressions and just new input, so that I have something to learn from. And I feel that when I am with someone, I concentrate more on the other person, so I concentrate on what we talk about and how the dynamic is going and so on. So the closest to traveling alone in terms of being comfortable was traveling with my best friend, because we have the same approach to tourism. We just take it really chill. So I don't like being this like crazy tourist when you have to get up at like 6 in the morning and go and see all the sights because you are there only for a couple of days. So I prefer to take things easy and just take it as it comes, and just spend the time enjoying it and not like rushing to see everything, because it's just an impossible quest to fulfill. And I feel like a lot of people have this this idea of like running and running. I used to have it as well, and I noticed it very much in one of my first solo travels. I remember I was in Budapest, and it was really cold there, and I went to a coffee shop to take some time in the warm environment and like get some coffee and whatever. And I was sitting there for an hour because it was just so cold. I just wanted to be somewhere warm, and it was just people watching, like hanging. It was a really nice neighborhood, and I felt like I was wasting my time, and I felt such intense guilt about it. And I realized that this is something that I really have to work on, because I am on my own time. I don't owe anything to anyone, and if I want to hang out in my apartment, or if I want to hang out in the coffee shop all the time, I am an adult and I can afford to do that, because I paid for the trip with my own money, and it's my own life, and I'm the only one who can give myself this permission. And that was in a way like really life-changing. I hope it doesn't sound really dumb, but it was a realization that I really needed. And after that, my travels have taken a completely different turn. So I really dislike touristy places. On one hand, I'm really grateful for them to exist, because I realized that if the place wasn't touristy, I would probably not end up there, because no one would just know about it, or it would be too difficult to access. But also, I don't like to be in a crowd of tourists, because I just feel that it sort of devaluates the experience. And so I prefer to go to a city and just explore it, like talk to the locals about the places that they prefer, and not the places that are marked in the tourist guides. I prefer to just go around and like go where my feet take me. If I see a pretty street, I will turn there, even if it was not on my initial map, or I will just take the experience as it comes and work with it. And I feel like it transformed my traveling experiences a lot. And also, I just feel like when you are alone, you are so present in the moment, because you don't have this distraction of the other person being there. You just really immerse yourself in the present moment, and I feel that it's priceless. On the positive sides of traveling with people, I also travel with my parents, not too often, but a couple of times a year. And on one hand, I really like it, because it also puts you way out of your comfort zone, because I haven't lived with my parents for a long period of time, for almost 10 years now. And when I stay with them in their apartment, because they have lives of their own, I have a life of my own, and we don't really see each other all the time, so we just come together for like meals and whatever. But when we are traveling together, we are just constantly exposed to each other all the time, and it brings up all the little things that really bug me, for example. I don't know about them. And I believe that this kind of close coexistence just brings up the problems that you need to pay attention to. And so it can get really uncomfortable, especially the first couple of days, because I am really used to living alone, and it's kind of hard for me to adjust to having other people around all the time without a possibility of like escaping that. So I really kind of hate it for the first couple of days, but at the same time, I feel like you learn so much about yourself, because when you're just alone and there are no things to like trigger these responses in you, you cannot really know this about yourself. And if you're willing to accept that, and willing to accept that the things that annoy you about other people are also the things that you need to work on, I feel like traveling not only with your parents, but also with like a partner or a friend, with anyone, I feel like it brings up the problems that already exist in you or in a relationship, and it just makes them more accessible and more obvious. And I think that if you are insightful enough to pick it up and like work on that, that's really cool. And this is why I think traveling with someone can also be very beneficial. But for now in my life, I feel like I just need some self inquiry and also just some time to get to know myself better and to learn new things about myself. And I feel like traveling gives me this opportunity. It's like meditating, but for a longer time, because you are just so present in the moment and you learn how you react to certain situations, and you are not shielded from this reality by the presence of somebody else. But that being said, I just love traveling as it is, and of course if somebody invites me, I will definitely like jump in and join. But I also really cherish these moments with myself, and yeah, I think that everyone should try it at least once. And also I think that it's the kind of thing that you just have to overcome once. It might feel uncomfortable in the beginning and you will feel sort of lonely or weird for not being there with someone, because people usually travel in groups or at least in couples. But then you will really understand the beauty of it. At least this is what happened to me. So if you are hesitating, like going somewhere on your own, or if there is a place where you always wanted to go but no one wants to go with you, I really encourage you to do that. And remember that you don't have to go very far to get new experiences. It can be a little village next to your hometown. It can be anything where you can bike or take the next bus and just go there, because just taking yourself out of your routines and out of your comfort zone is priceless. And I think that people should do that more often. And just being in nature, like if you live somewhere in the suburbs or somewhere not in the city center, or even if you do live in a city, just going out of the town and enjoying the nature and just being present like that is also priceless. And this is what I love about my hometown, because it gives me this opportunity. So I hope you found it interesting or helpful. I hope that if you never considered traveling alone, maybe this video made you consider that. Please share your experiences. Like, have you traveled with no one else and just with yourself? Have you traveled in a big group? What was your experience like? What do you prefer, and so on, because I'm really interested to hear your opinions. And also, if there is something that you would like to ask me or know about me, also don't hesitate to ask me in the comments down below, because sometimes I'm just like not sure what to talk about, because there are so many things that I would like to share, but I'm just not sure if anyone is interested in that. So I appreciate all of you guys watching this video till this moment, and thank you very much. I love you so much, and I wish you a nice week, day, evening, whatever. And thanks for watching. Be nice humans, and bye.